Hello and welcome to Friday First Down. I'm Cade Scholter alongside Carter Tutton. And Carter, we're 1 week into sectionals already.
And it's been a pretty good week so far. Mostly chalk, so all good teams have won. But we'll take a look at this Lawrence North and Lawrence Central game later. But right now, very pumped for this Brownsburg and Avon rivalry, so can't wait for tonight.
Yeah, B&O Rotary Bell matchup, the second time they've met this season. And Brownsburg took the first one, but we'll see how both teams got here. Brownsburg got their postseason off to a strong start with their win over Pike.
Yeah, and it was a pretty back-and-forth game in the first half, but really, Aiden Job with his 4 touchdowns sealed the game, and the defense not letting up either with Drew Bostic's 2 interceptions. So a really good night for Brownsburg offense and defensively.
Yeah, and as we've seen throughout the season, the Brownsburg offense and defense have both carried them, but it's been the running game of Job that's got it done, and the passing game as well, with Fry throwing over for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. And as you mentioned, Drew Bostic, they also had another interception by Colton Gibson and a blocked field goal. So all the units getting it done there and taking control in the second half for their 43-14 win. And for Brownsburg, they've had a pretty easy schedule beating all their opponents, Carter.
Yeah, so it is all W's for the board for Brownsburg. And I really want to look at some of these games, starting with the Archbishop Spalding game. To most Indiana natives, you might not know who this team is. This is a team from Maryland, one of the top teams in that state. And Brownsburg playing them at home and able to win that game 36-23. Also, week 2, playing Cathedral, one of the best teams in 5A, but defeating them 29-0, so blowout in that game. I also want to look at this Westfield game. It was a low-scoring game, and it was a rematch of the state championship last year, 14-10. Brownsburg able to come on top with that one, and that was a really, really good season for Brownsburg so far.
And then in week 4, they played Avon, and Avon got their season underway last week when they beat Ben Davis in a very close game.
Yeah, we want to look at this Avon-Ben Davis game. Warfield with a touchdown in that game, which he will be pretty explosive tonight. And their kicker went a nice 5 for 5 in field goals, so really helped to this 23-21 win.
Yeah, that produced the victory there, and they did not look the sharpest, and Ben Davis has played well towards the end of the season, so pretty close game there. And as you touched on at the top, Lawrence North and Lawrence Central was the biggest game in the entire sectional.
Yeah, so looking back at this game, Lawrence North had the lead with about 5 seconds left, 20-24, and the quarterback for Lawrence Central runs it in and is hit in the back and fumbles the ball into the end zone where his own teammate recovered it for a game-winning touchdown. Lawrence Central wins that game 26-24.
And you can see that play right there. Fumbled it right to his teammate, and Lawrence Central was able to come away with the stunning upset win, as Lawrence North is one of the top teams in the state. And the winner, since Lawrence Central won, they play Decatur, and the winner of that game plays the winner of Brownsburg versus Avon. So that'll be one to look out for as well. And then after the break, we'll touch on previous Brownsburg and Avon matchups. So don't go anywhere.
Come on, let them know.
Some see a student athlete working on his shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
and welcome back to Friday First Down. I'm Cade Schulter alongside Carter Tudden, and Brownsburg and Avon have played a lot since you can remember, and we're going to take a look at some of those previous matchups.
Yeah, so this is the historic rivalry game between the two teams. Started in 1961, and Brownsburg's dominated for a long time, and that series is 45-27 all time, but since 2000, Brownsburg leads 20-17. And Brownsburg is currently on a 10 straight win against Avon, averaging 46.6 points while holding Avon to 24.8 points in that game. So we'll see if Brownsburg can continue that tonight.
Yeah, and the most recent time Brownsburg played Avon was week 4 of the regular season, and that was a shootout.
Yeah, this game was electric, both from running backs. Job had 3 touchdowns on the night with a little under 200 yards, and Warfield on Avon's side with over 307 yards of offense and 3 touchdowns as well. Brownsburg had 563 total yards, and Avon with 558 total yards. So over 1,000 yards for the two teams in this game. So we'll see if it'll continue tonight.
Yeah, that was a game where the defenses both took the night off, and it was very exciting for both teams, but Brownsburg came away with the 55-47 win. And the last time Brownsburg played Avon in the postseason was 2024, where they took home a 21-13 win.
Yeah, so we look at this win, and Oscar Fry had a pretty down game, a little under 100 yards, but that is also because he was splitting time with Yosua Stevens, who's now in college. Yosua had 1 touchdown on the night, and Sumter Bay, one of their running backs who's still here, was getting involved with 2 touchdowns, and Brandon Sharp, the star wide receiver, with a touchdown as well. And we look at Avon's side with Jace Cameron with a touchdown and a pick in this game, with Sean Curry, their wide receiver, getting a touchdown in this game too.
Yeah, and both teams return a majority of their offensive starters for this game tonight and in week 4 as well. And as we mentioned, Brownsburg and Avon, they're part of the deepest team in the entire state, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. And we're going to take a look at some of those ACC teams that are still alive in the sectional.
Yeah, so obviously you have Brownsburg and Avon playing tonight, and then Franklin Central, Westfield, Hamilton Southeastern, and Fishers are all still in it as well. I want to take a look at this Westfield and Carmel game. And they played earlier in the year with Westfield losing to Carmel in a blowout 10-13. And they play again tonight, so we'll see if they can redeem themselves or if Carmel will win against Westfield.
Yeah, that 34-10 win for Carmel really cemented their status as one of the top teams in the state, and Brownsburg has led the state rankings since week 1.
Yeah, we look at the coaches poll and the AP poll. Brownsburg #1 all season, and it's pretty much the same, but you look at the coaches poll and the network poll with Penn. They are another undefeated team still in the playoffs right now, and they are definitely a team to look out for. And then we'll also preview this Lawrence North and Lawrence Central game later on in the show.
Yeah, Lawrence North ended up going down as we talked about earlier, and Penn, strength of schedule, not very good, but we'll see if they can put up a fight against Crown Point, another top 3 team in the state. And after the break, we've got exclusive interviews and key players for Brownsburg, so stay here on bcsc.tv.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All around the world. To the beach, y'all.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I keep it so fresh on the microphone. I like no interruption when the game is on. I like slam dunk to take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go. And it's basketball. Bow out, let's go.
Hello and welcome back to Friday First Down. I'm Kate Schulter alongside Carter Tudd, and we're getting ready for the Sectional 5 Championship. And BCSC TV's own Matthew Riley got a chance to talk with a very special guest.
Hey guys, I'm here with Brownsburg's number 6 running back, Shakovan Sumterbay. Shakovan, how's the team adapted to the loss of Coach Whittaker and the addition of Coach Lance?
I think we all really warmed up to him pretty fast. And the loss of Whit was it was pretty tough because we all had a really deep relationship with him. But Coach Lance, he's a pretty cool guy. He kind of acts the same way, has the same manners. So he be making jokes with us and stuff. So I think he's been a great addition to the team. But we warmed up to him really fast.
Amazing. Now, how have you and the other running backs worked together, and how has it impacted the offense?
So we have a set drill. We have a bunch of different drills we do every practice, and we just always stay together during practice, when we're either watching the defense or doing drills. We're always together. And then when we have team dinners on Thursdays, within the running back group, we're just around each other so much. We just all connect and have a good relationship, and we're all best friends pretty much. And I think having that connection makes it easier for us to play at a high level, especially with how we rotate 3 different starting running backs, and not anybody being jealous of anybody else, but we're able to push each other and encourage each other. And I think that's a big part of our success on the offense.
Okay, and how do you guys open up the offensive line? How does that affect the offense?
Our offensive line does really well blocking. We got some great dudes on the line, some big guys, T, Ricky, Mazias. I think it's really the running backs don't really have to do much because the line takes care of everything for us. All we got to do is just hit the gap and run through it. But the line, and then Oscar putting the ball where it needs to be, I think it just helps a lot.
And the last question, I know you guys are number 1 in the state according to almost everyone. Do you guys ever feel like you're the hunted team in throughout the entire bracket? I
mean, our coaches, Coach Hart, Coach Lance, they always drive that point home that everybody's trying to knock us off. But I think as a team, there's not really a lot of pressure. We just go out there, have fun, do what we need to do, and take care of business. It's not we're trying to live up to the standard. We just go out there and play football.
All right. Thank you so much, Shakovan, and good luck at tonight's game. That's all I've got. Back over to you guys.
Thank you, Matthew and Kovan. And the connection between the offense has been noticeable throughout the season. And we're going to take a look at some of Brownsburg's key players on the offensive side of the ball. And that really starts with their running backs, Carter.
Yeah, so their trio of running backs, Aiden Job, Kovan Sumterbay, and Brady Lewis, are basically the key for this offense. They have a combined 224 yards per game with 28 touchdowns divided between the 3 of them. So these, I don't know where Brownsburg would be without their running backs, but I also want to shout out this O-line helping make holes for the running backs and helping them split tackles, and the O-line has been a quiet but noticeable players for this team.
Yeah, Job leads the way with just under 100 yards per game on the ground, but Kovan, Sumterbay, and Brady Lewis not too far behind, both over 60 yards per game, and they combine for 24 touchdowns on the ground and 4 through the air. So, and as you mentioned, just watching these highlights, you can see the space they get with their offensive line, just doing a great job throughout the season. They are the unsung heroes of this Brownsburg team, and the Dogs are able to really salt games away with these running backs, and now Brandon Sharp is Brownsburg's star wide receiver.
Yeah, Brandon Sharp being a absolute unit for this offense. Brandon Sharp leads with 11 touchdowns with over 780 yards on the offensive side. He is explosive, versatile, and everything you'd want from a receiver. But I also want to shout out Avon, Robinson, and Tez Virgil, who are also helping out on the offensive side as well.
Yeah, they definitely draw attention to themselves as well, and that leaves Sharp with one-on-one coverage. But as you can see through some of these highlights, Brandon Sharp is a deep threat, but also Brownsburg loves to run him in the screen game and get his versatility going. And their quarterback who's thrown to those receivers is Oscar Fry.
Yeah, and this is Oscar Fry's first season as the #1 quarterback. He was splitting time with Joshua Stevens last year. But we look at Fry's stats here with over 1,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That 24-2 touchdown to interception ratio is absolutely insane. So very good job by him. But he's not needing to throw much since the Dogs have been blowing out the teams, especially with their running backs.
Yeah, and with that 24-2 touchdown interception ratio, just another great offensive line. They give him the time in order to throw and make good decisions, as he's done all season. And Brownsburg's offense has been rolling, averaging almost 40 points per game. But backing it up as well is the defense from Brownsburg. They are loaded with star players from every position.
Yeah, so you've got some noticeable players, Dami, Drew Bostic, Sake Diallo, and Jackson Pearson, all having outstanding seasons. Their defense was only returning 2 starters from last year, but it seems as if it doesn't matter due to this explosive defense that has been able to solve games. And they've adapted amazingly, only allowing 13.5 points per game.
Yeah, and they've played some of the toughest teams in the schedule, and also in the HCC, it's just one of the best conferences, and their defense has just played amazing. And mostly all skill position players on the offense and defensive side of the ball are juniors, so expect this to continue. But the main driving force behind this team is Coach John Hart.
And Coach Hart, definitely the backbone of this team. He won the NFL AFC Coach of the Year last year, so big congratulations to him. And he's looking to defend Brownsburg's state championship for almost 40 years. And in his time at Brownsburg, he's 10 seasons here with them. He's got at least 7 wins every season, but 3 sectional championship, a regional championship, and the 6A state championship.
Yeah, 92-19 record is outstanding for any coach, and Coach Hart has done a great job at Brownsburg. And coming up after this break, we take a look at Avon's key players and preview the 6A bracket.
It's winter, and we at BCSC.TV have a huge catalog of broadcasts lined up. These broadcasts include basketball, swimming and diving, wrestling, choir, and more. If you're a high school sports fan, a parent, or just want to see what we're about, you can find us on BCSC.TV. Our broadcasts are entirely student-led, and we can't wait to put on our next broadcast.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hello and welcome back to Friday First Down. Once again, I'm Cade Showalter alongside Carter Tutton. And Carter, what stands out to you about this Avon offense?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the year, they were more of a passing team. But after their 47-55 loss to Brownsburg, they converted to a running team. And their star quarterback, Jace Cameron, has had over 1,700 yards and 13 touchdowns and 7 picks. So could get his picks down, but pretty good so far. We look at Sean Curry, the star running back for the Orioles, with over 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. So good season, and the connection between these two has been great throughout.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, they have shifted to a running offense with the star junior running back, Andre Warfield, at its head.
Yeah, so we look at Andre Warfield, and he has been amazing after his breakout game against Brownsburg. He was averaging 24 carries with 143 yards per game in his last 6 games, and when they were playing Brownsburg, he had 307 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's just able to hit the hole and he's gone. He's more of a speed back, not a power back.
Yeah, and as we mentioned throughout the broadcast, there's been a lot of talk about these sectional championship games that are playing tonight, and we're going to take a look at the sectional bracket, and we'll start off with that Crown Point versus Penn game.
Yeah, and both of these teams being undefeated, so this will be a really good matchup. And I also want to point out this Westfield on Carmel, Westfield being the state runner-up in 6A, but losing to Carmel earlier in the season, so that will be a good game. And you also have Hamilton Southeastern, Avon and Brownsburg, but all HCC teams still in it, so it should be a good load of games tonight.
Yeah, especially with that Crown Point and Penn game. Penn and Crown Point both undefeated, but Penn just hasn't played the type of caliber opponents that Crown Point has. So we'll see if that catches up to hurt them in that game. And then the Carroll Fort Wayne Northrop. Carroll is considered a dark horse for a regional championship, so keep an eye on that one. And then, as you mentioned, lots of HCC teams throughout. Franklin Central playing Center Grove, who played Brownsburg last year, and then another one, Sectional 6. As we mentioned, Lawrence Central knocked off Lawrence North. And over the last 5 seasons, they have just been insane with Coach Hart at the helm. Then they've been building a dynasty.
Yeah, so 2021 going 9-3, pretty good with the over 500. 2022, you dropped the loss with the 10-2. Both those years, you're sectional champions. 2023, you're going 9-1, which is good. 2024, last year, going 13-1 and ending up as state championships. So that was their best year so far, and this year going 10-0 so far. We'll see if Brownsburg maybe back-to-back state championships.
Yeah, I'd say no one expected Brownsburg to get any better, but somehow they have. They have the chance to go 14-0 this season, undefeated record, win the HCC outright, and win a back-to-back state championship, which hasn't happened for over 40 years. So Coach Hart has done a great job, and he has some keys to the game for tonight. The first one is focus and sharpen special teams.
Yeah, and as Coach Hart says, the Dogs misaligned or missed an assignment 10 times last game against Avon, and 4 of those were touchdowns. But Coach Hart will be looking for the Dogs to maintain their focus and intensity in a game where one play could change the tide. And especially since it is a rivalry, the Dogs will make sure to keep their emotions in check and let their game do the talking. But Coach Hart also says that the Dogs are known as one of the premier special teams in the state. And last time they played Avon, special teams did not go their way. There was a bad snap on a punt that ended up leading to a safety. And normally, Will Orlando's been automatic, but he missed 2 extra points. And the Dogs just hope to nail down that special teams unit tonight and avoid leaving any points on the field, because just one field goal or PAT could change the game.
Yeah, definitely true. And as we mentioned, 8-point game last time. So Brownsburg, as you mentioned, not looking to leave those points on the field, as just any missed points could change the tide of a game, even if it's like a blocked extra point returned for a 2-point conversion, and that could just totally switch the momentum as well. And for Coach Rob Gibson and Avon, get Warfield going and limit big plays.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, Warfield went off when they played Brownsburg earlier, averaging an absurd 15 yards per carry. And he's been their key to the offense since week 4. And getting Warfield also opens up the play-action game for Jace Cameron, as the Dogs defenders will be dialed on the run, leading to an easy downfield shots if they bite on the play fake. Limiting the big plays will also be one of the biggest things that both of these coaches focus on, but especially Coach Gibson. On the first play of the game, the last time these two teams met, A.J. Jobe took an opening handoff 67 yards to the house for a touchdown. And with less than a minute left of the first half, he got a screen pass and he took 81 yards to the house. But this Avon defense will look to slow down Brownsburg's explosive offense. But that's a tall task for any team, so we'll see how they can do it tonight.
And as you mentioned, Carter, Brownsburg's offense is one of the most explosive offenses in the state, averaging just over 35 points a game. And we'll look at that team comparison to see how these two teams match up on the stat sheet. And what stands out to you?
Yeah, so something major that stands out to me is Brownsburg's total 51 touchdowns to Avon's 30. Brownsburg able to score on any means possible using their trio of running backs, but also able to score to the outside with their running backs or with their wide receivers with Brandon Sharp, Tez, and Avon Robinson.
Yeah, and another thing to focus on is the points allowed. Even though Brownsburg's offense is insane, their defense has been immaculate as well. As we touched on earlier, only 2 returning starters, and they're giving up less than 2 touchdowns a game in the HCC, which is one of the best conferences in the state. And then that +6 turnover margin as well. And they had 3 turnovers. They forced 3 turnovers against Pike. So they were only at +3. We'll see if they can get that up even more tonight. And we are just a few minutes away from game time. Carter, you ready for this one?
I am. This is going to be a pumped rivalry game. Could go either way. Both teams powerhouses in their conference, and I'm really excited for tonight.
Yeah, and thank you for watching Friday First Down, but don't go anywhere. The Sectional 5 Championship is coming up next, live right here on BCSC.TV.